All right, let's cut through the noise. AI and machine learning are probably two of the most important and most hyped technologies out there. So in the next 5 minutes, we're going to break it all down. No jargon, just a clear, simple primer. Let's dive in.
I mean, it really feels that way, doesn't it? You hear AI thrown around everywhere. It's going to change the world. It's going to take our jobs. It's in everything. But what actually is it? Are we talking about sci-fi robots, or is it something totally different?
Well, the truth is, AI isn't some far-off futuristic idea. It's already here, woven into your everyday life. Every single time you unlock your phone with your face, or get a shockingly good movie recommendation from Netflix, or notice that your email spam folder just works, you're using AI.
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it. The biggest point of confusion for pretty much everyone. What is the difference between AI and machine learning? Because they are not the same thing. And once you get this one distinction, everything else just clicks into place. So think of artificial intelligence, or AI, as the big dream. It's the whole field of study. The goal, going all the way back to the 1950s, was always this: can we make a machine that's smart? AI is the giant umbrella that covers everything we're about to talk about. And for a long time, our main approach was, well, it was pretty clunky. We literally tried to hand code intelligence. Programmers would sit down and write millions of if-then rules. You know, for a spam filter, they'd write, if an email has the word lottery, then it's spam. It kind of worked, but it was super brittle. It couldn't learn or adapt.
And this is the breakthrough. This is where machine learning completely flips the script. The crucial difference is right here. With old AI, the programmer fed the computer the rules. With machine learning, the programmer feeds the computer data, and the machine figures out the rules for itself. We stopped trying to describe what spam looks like, and instead just showed it a million examples of spam and said, you figure it out.
So if you remember just one thing, let it be this. AI is the destination we're trying to get to, a machine with human-like smarts. Machine learning is the powerful engine in the car that's actually driving us there right now.
Okay, so we know machine learning is about learning from data. The next obvious question is, how? How does a machine actually learn? Well, it turns out there are three main ways, or you could call them three different flavors of learning.
The most common type by far is called supervised learning, and the name says it all. You can think of it like learning with a teacher, or studying for a test with a perfect answer key. You give the machine a massive data set where everything is already labeled. You feed it, say, 1 million pictures, and each one is clearly marked cat or dog. After seeing enough examples, it learns to tell the difference all on its own.
But what if you don't have an answer key? What if your data is just a giant, messy pile? That's where unsupervised learning comes in. This is more like being a detective. You give the machine a mountain of unlabeled information and just ask it to find interesting groups or patterns. For instance, you could give it millions of customer purchases, and it might find clusters on its own, creating groups like bargain hunters or weekend shoppers without you ever telling it what to look for.
And then we have the third type, which is completely different. It's called reinforcement learning, and the best analogy is that it's like training a dog. You have an AI agent that learns by trying things out. When it does something good, it gets a reward, a virtual treat. When it does something bad, it gets a penalty. It's all about trial and error. And this is where it gets really mind-blowing. Let's take an AI learning to play Mario. At first, it's totally clueless. It moves right, it survives, it gets a tiny reward. It hits a coin block, gets a big reward. It falls in a pit, big penalty. After playing millions and millions of games, this simple reward system doesn't just teach it how to play. It teaches it how to play at a superhuman level, finding tricks and strategies that no human ever thought of. So those are the building blocks. And those three basic ideas are what lead us to the incredibly powerful AI systems that are making headlines today. Let's connect the dots to deep learning and, of course, the star of the show right now, generative AI. So where does deep learning fit into all this? It's not a fourth type of learning. It's actually a subfield of machine learning. You can really just think of it as machine learning on steroids. It uses these complex structures called neural networks, which are very loosely inspired by the human brain, and it is incredibly data hungry. It needs enormous amounts of data to do its thing.
The deep part of deep learning simply refers to the many layers in these neural networks. And here's a perfect example of how it works for something like facial recognition. The very first layer might just detect simple things like edges and lines. The next layer up combines those edges to find basic shapes, like an eye or a nose. And the layer after that combines those shapes to recognize an entire face. It's this layered approach that lets it find these incredibly complex patterns.
And all of that brings us right here to generative AI. All those tools you're hearing about, ChatGPT, DALL-E, you name it, they're all powered by deep learning. They've been trained on just a staggering amount of the internet. All that text, all those images, all that code. They've learned the patterns of human creativity so well that they can now generate brand new things from a simple text prompt.
So we've covered the what and the how. But that leaves the most important question of all. So what? Why is it so crucial for everybody to understand this stuff, right here, right now? Here's why this matters. Just by understanding these core concepts, you genuinely know more about how AI actually works than probably 90% of the population. You can cut through the hype, you can separate the science from the fiction, and you can really engage in the conversations that are shaping our future. Now, being knowledgeable also means being realistic about the very real challenges we face. Things like bias. If we train an AI on biased data from the past, it's going to make biased decisions in the future. It's going to change the job market in ways we're still trying to understand. And then there's the black box problem. Sometimes these models are so complex, even their creators don't know exactly how they reached a particular answer.
And this really gets to the most important takeaway of all. AI is not a character in a movie. It doesn't have hopes or dreams. It is a tool, and it's an incredibly powerful one. Think of it like a power saw for the mind. It can be used to build amazing, beautiful things, or it can be really dangerous if it's used carelessly. So that leaves us with this final thought. The future of AI isn't something that's just going to happen to us. It's a tool, not a destiny. It's something we are all actively building every single day with the choices we make. So the real question isn't what AI will do, it's what will we choose to do with it.